Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 6 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
Hi everyone, I'm Regina. On Whitney is off tonight. New at 6 now, initiative sponsor Tim Eyman will have to pay nearly $2.9 million to reimburse Washington taxpayers for costs and fees related to the campaign finance lawsuit. Now the lawsuit is brought against Eyman by Attorney General Bob Ferguson.
The new amount is in addition to the $2.6 million penalty Eyman was ordered to pay back in February. That was the result of a 2017 lawsuit by Ferguson's office that accused Eyman of soliciting kickbacks, laundering donations, and flouting campaign finance law in a long-running scheme to enrich himself. Eyman now under a court order to pay $10,000 every month. According to the Attorney General, Eyman has been consistently making those payments. Spokane's evening commute last night on I-90 caused a bit of frustration. 3 separate crashes, all on eastbound lanes, slowed traffic to nearly a halt.
Now, some blame the new ramp meters for the traffic congestion, but KREM 2's Amandaroli explains why they're not.
Okay, so the new ramp meters in Spokane might be a bit frustrating to some drivers, and you may want to blame them for the collisions on Interstate 90 last night and the subsequent 8-mile-long traffic backup. But WashDOT says the ramp meters are not to blame, and here's why.
Washington State Trooper Jeff Seveny confirms the 3 crashes last night involved vehicles already on the freeway, and none were near any ramp meters.
No, the ramp meters did not cause nor contribute to that condition that was created from the collision.
WashDOT traffic engineer Glenn Wagaman says the newest ramp meters were active that afternoon. They helped with traffic flow following the collisions.
What we use the ramp meters for, which is what they're designed for, is that instead of just letting traffic free flow onto I-90, which was a parking lot, we take those ramps and we turn the metering rate down. So we trickle a few cars on. And the goal is that we don't want to just flood I-90 with more cars, which makes it even harder for people to move.
Backup on these on-ramps diverted some drivers to alternate routes instead. Wagaman says this is good because there is a lot of traffic capacity on local roads.
How do we address the traffic on those side streets?
Yeah, addressing traffic on the side streets in a condition like this is really hard because there's not enough staff and from the city or from human enforcement to be able to control what goes on. So it's almost like a large event letting out, and you have to control what you can, but the rest has to just operate the way it happens.
Amandaroli, KREM 2 News.
By the way, the Brown and Division Street westbound on-ramp, they will be the last of the 5 new ramp meters to go live in Spokane. That will happen on Wednesday.
Well, a man who admitted to anti-Semitic vandalism of Temple Beth Shalom on Spokane South Hill in February is sentenced to 7 months in jail. Raymond Bryant was charged with second-degree malicious mischief and malicious harassment. Both are considered hate crimes in Washington state.
According to court records, Bryant, reportedly a member of a white supremacy group and previously harassed members of Temple Beth Shalom. Along with this sentence, Bryant must also pay a little more than $9,000, most of which is restitution money. The temple had to pay $2,000 to remove the graffiti from its building and a Holocaust memorial. Rabbi Tamar Molino, who serves at Temple Beth Shalom, was in court today for that sentencing. Molino said she would have hoped for Bryant to receive more jail time for the vandalism.
And most important message is that his acts were intolerable and that he does deserve consequences for his actions. And secondly, that we will remain a strong and vibrant and active Jewish community in Spokane, and that we really appreciate all the support that we've been given from the community at large in response to his actions. And that thirdly, I hope that he'll experience the consequences as a path towards rehabilitation in some way.
Now, Bryant did apologize to the Jewish community during his sentencing, but Rabbi Molino said it was not at all clear that he understood the implications of his actions.
Earlier this week, a multi-vehicle crash on Highway 95 near Athol killed a 45-year-old woman. The woman was driving a truck that hit a motorcycle and then another vehicle. But as KREM 2's Ian Smay explains tonight, the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office has arrested a man they say actually caused the woman to crash.
On Tuesday on Highway 95, near the small North Idaho town of Athol, a woman was killed when her Toyota Tundra crossed the center line, sideswiped a motorcycle, then hit another vehicle. But now, a 55-year-old Bonners Ferry man is in jail after police say he shot the woman while he was riding in her truck. 45-year-old Melissa Schlow was driving her truck with 55-year-old Victor Klaus on Monday. The truck was going northbound on Highway 95 near Athol when it crossed the line, sideswiped a motorcycle, then hit another vehicle. Schlow was found dead, and Klaus and the driver of the other vehicle sustained non-life-threatening injuries.
When we got on scene, investigators from the traffic team and deputies and state troopers realized at that time there was a victim of a gunshot wound on Tuesday, but we didn't release any information because we were still trying to figure out how it happened.
Newly filed court documents are providing insight on what led up to the alleged shooting. According to the documents, Klaus was picking up Schlow, who was his girlfriend, from the Spokane International Airport after a 2:20 p.m. arrival. He told police he had been drinking all day and that Schlow was returning from California, where she lived with her dad. She was then driving them to his Bonners Ferry home. Witnesses described seeing the truck stop multiple times before the crash. One witness that approached the truck told police he saw Klaus shaking Schlow and telling her to wake up. Another witness found a handgun on the floor of the truck. Klaus told police that during an argument over why his divorce from a previous marriage was taking so long, that Schlow grabbed his gun from the dashboard and shot herself. The Spokane County Medical Examiner reported that Schlow had a gunshot wound to the head, with the gun having fired from at least 18 inches away. The medical examiner also said it would be nearly impossible for the gunshot to be self-inflicted. Klaus was arraigned in Kootenai County on Friday, where a request to lower his bond was denied. Klaus is currently in the Kootenai County Jail on a first-degree murder charge. His bail has been set at $1 million. In North Idaho, Ian Smay, KREM 2 News.
A teenage girl is recovering tonight at Sacred Heart after being hit by a semi-truck last night. So here's what we know right now. The incident happened in Colton, Washington. Whitman County Sheriff's deputies say the girl ran away from home and was then hit by a semi-truck on State Route 195. The girl was seriously hurt. Washington State Patrol will investigate the crash.
All right, let's talk weather. Get ready because we are about to see some of the warmest weather we have seen all year thus far. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick joining us here in the studio. And Thomas, how warm are we talking?
Yeah, not just 70 degrees, but easily into the 70s. I love this time of year because we can always say, hey, this is the warmest weather that we've seen all year long. And we know that that trend will keep going as we get deeper into the spring season. But even today it was upper 60s and we're aiming for 70s for tomorrow. It should actually be mid 70s in a lot of regions. But if you're in central Washington, like Moses Lake, Grand Coulee, Omak, you're already in the mid 70s. It can't get much better than that. Actually, the winds have calmed down a little bit since yesterday. Just a slight breeze out there for today, but not as strong as it was yesterday or the day before. And skies are completely clear. Did not notice any clouds, even just a stray cumulus cloud. Nothing of the sort. In fact, you got to go a couple hundred miles away to find the nearest cloud cover, which is really close to Utah. I think that might be the closest clouds to our region. I think a lot of people will be out and about, either doing some hikes or just a general stroll, but maybe you're doing some Bloomsday training. We know that the early registration ends this weekend. It's going to be sunny all weekend, but the winds do start to pick back up in the afternoon hours. I'll show you why that is and if we'll see any rain out of an incoming weather system with that. Look for that in just a few minutes.
Jacob works the plate. Ball lined right at second base, and that's it. A no-hitter for Alec Jacob.
Well, Gonzaga pitcher and North Central alum Alec Jacob has done it. He pitched a no-hitter at Pepperdine, striking out 12 people. Jacob completes only the 5th no-hitter in Gonzaga baseball program history. Zags win 10-0 tonight.
Well, vaccine eligibility has expanded for all of Washington, but now there is a higher demand with less supply of vaccines. So coming up next, where to look for your dose.